Hey everyone, I'm Digital Duke and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a little bit of a weird deck list for you. This is something that I personally came up with after I saw what happened out of Power of the Elements, and I was waiting on getting the other good old fairies for these that came out in Darkwing Black before I made this, but this is Goki Vernusylph. If you want something that is hyper budget almost to a certain degree, it's like with this check is really cheap. And the stuff that it can do is honestly pretty funny for a deck that is this cheap. So yeah, let me just start getting into the deck profile to show you what I happen to have currently going for me. So again, came with this idea just because one day at locals I didn't know what to play, and so I just decided, hey, let's do it. So first off, we have three of the best one. 3 Goki Suprex. Obviously he's the best one, he's a normal summon. This guy is almost full combo summon anyway. So yeah, this guy, you obviously play 3 of them. And then for the other Gokis, we are playing 3 copies of Goki Twist Cobra. This is because he's a name, and he's the second best one, arguably, aside from the Headbat, which we are also running 3 of. You play 3 Headbat, just because he's the only other extender in the deck, really, that is, well, an archetype Goki. Twist Cobra I just play because he can come up his attack, boost effect during damage step, and so then we play 3 Guts, just because he has battle protection, and while that may not sound good, funny enough, it has come up a couple of times, and also he's a level 1 target, which does come up. And then we have our double Iron Claw, he's a name, and along with that we have double Octastretch, also name, and then we have Rise Scorpio. Now technically speaking, if you just have playing against Shadal or something like that, this guy can beat over it, and he's essentially a no tribute monarch. So yeah, we have those. We're running 18 of our Gokis here, and then for our next couple of cards here, well, only card if you will, that is not a Goki or a Vernusylph. This is the only non-Earther running in the main deck. We're running 1 Codebreaker 0 Day. This is for the Codebreaker combo that does indeed come up. Usually you need him for the full power final board, but it's fine if you don't. So then for the fairies, we're playing 3 Flourishing Hills, 3 Thawing Mountains, 3 Awakening Forest, 3 Flowering Fields, 3 Misting Seedlings, and 1 Vera. Yes, we are maxing out essentially on Vernusylph aside from the Vera, and the Vera is only there as an alternative boss monster, essentially. Basically, why are we maxing out on our fairies here? Well, 1, it's cheap, which obviously I said this was a budget deck, but 2, funny enough, the full combo requires you to have a fairy in hand, and if you draw multiple fairies, it's not the end of the world, anyway, if you don't draw enough Gokis. I mean, so it's not the end of the world. Obviously, there are some that you'd rather draw, because the Flowering Field, you don't exactly want to draw that in your opening hand, but it's okay as long as you have full combo, which I will showcase in this video. So then we have Triple Goki Rematch, the 1 Goki Finishing Move, and finally the last one is 1 for 1. We're running 3 Rematch because in Grind Game, this 3 does come up. I see 2 a lot of the times, but in this one, I run 3 because it has come up before where I needed the 3rd. Goki Finishing Move, this is literally the best OTK card in Archetype, I believe, that has ever been printed anyway, or at least one of the best. And then finally, the 1 for 1 gets you to the Guts. We're running 2 Octastretch because sometimes, you just want an Octastretch in hand for that damage reduction effect. And then for the extra deck is incredibly budget-friendly. It is incredibly switchable, customizable, but currently I have here what is essentially a almost pure Goki extra deck of double Heal Ogre, 1 Jet Ogre for our Link 2s, so we're running 3 of the Goki Link 2s. You can probably see where this combo is going. We have the 1 Vars Swordsman, 1 Vars Berserker. These are for the 0 Day combo. Then we have next up we have our Link 3s that you could make. Now, these are, obviously, you can switch these up as you will, but these could come up. We have 1 Great Ogre and 1 Blade Ogre. So very, very pure, almost, is what we're running here. And then we have the Link 3 that actually matters, the double copies of our Goki, the Thunder Ogre. He allows you an extra normal summon, which extends your combo plays. Oh yeah, and I also forgot. I guess I might as well should mention what these two do. So Blade Ogre is you contribute a monster in either field that it points to. He points up, down, and then down to the left. And then he can attack twice. I believe he gains 300 attack for each monster he points to. Yeah, each monster points to against 300 attack. And then Goki, the Great Ogre, this guy is hilarious because I have won a game off of this guy alone. So essentially, all monsters in the field lose attack equal to their own defense. And if he would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can destroy a Goki monster he points to. Instead, he points all 3 down. So yeah, that could come up. The Thunder Ogre, you usually want to get that off the field as quick as possible, but you know, that's just me. I don't think you want the opponent taking advantage of your normal summon. And then we have for the Link 4s, we have alternative bosses. We have Topologic Bomber Dragon because it's generic. And Goki the Giant Ogre. These two you can swap out for like any Link 4s or even a rank 4 if you wanted to do that, because you run a lot of 4s in this deck. So like these are placeholders. You could run these. Yeah, they're just there. And then finally for the bosses that actually matter, we're running one Goki the Master Ogre. This is your OTK guy that you combo with Goki finishing move. He attacks everything the opponent controls. And yeah, need I say more? The finishing move gives him 4k attack, so he goes up to 6,800 attack. He gains piercing from that. And now, with his own effect, he can attack everything. And also, he can be in negate if you wanted to, because he can return Goki's he points to the hand to non-target negate face-up cards on the field until the end of the turn. So that could come up. And then finally, triple power load ogre. Usually you see double of this, but we're in triple because we actually can make triple, and that is the best combo in the deck. So that is that for the main deck. Now, if you wanted to try out little things, I would suggest maybe something like Kelbeck or Agito. You don't, because I know Kelbeck is more expensive than Agito by a lot, so if you can only get your hands on Agito, well then you can try that. Now again, the reason why you'd run these is because your Vernusylphs basically revive anything from the graveyard anyway. And so in those instances where maybe you draw one of these and you draw a Vernusylph, but you don't draw like any Gokis, you can just, activate the Vernusylph, pitch one of these guys, get your search or draw or anything like that, and then you mill 5, and then hopefully off of that, the theory is you'd hit some Gokis. I'm not playing them in this list because, again, very budget, but if you wanted to, you could. So now let me show off our combo here really quickly, what I believe this deck can do. So we have Goki Suprex, we have any other Goki name, and then we will take any Vernusylph fairy monster. So since the duck is the best one, we'll do the duck. So this is all you need. This is full combo. So just Suprex plus any Goki name, not Suprex, or Headbat even, and then one Vernusylph. So we'll go duck. So first off, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to normal summon the Suprex, activate effects, summon the Twist Cobra. You're going to link these off. We're going to make our Heal Ogre or our Jet Ogre if you want. I like to say the Jet Ogre for the follow-up if we make it that far. So we'll go Chainlink 1, Suprex, Chainlink 2, Twist Cobra. It does not matter really what your Chainlinks are. So we're going to grab ourselves a Headbat and then any other Goki name that we haven't activated. So we'll go Guts. So Headbat Guts. We still have our deck in our hand. We're going to activate the Headbat effect, pitching Guts, to summon. So he gains 800, he summons himself. Guts does not trigger, obviously, because all the Gokis only trigger if they're sent from field to grave. Speaking of, we're going to link off these two, and we're going to make our Goki Thunder Ogre. Now we're going to activate the Headback effect here. We're going to add from our deck to our hand something like an Iron Claw. Again, just any Goki name that you haven't activated yet. And so Thunder Ogre's effect allows an extra normal summon. So we'll normal summon that Iron Claw to the link it points to. And then we're going to link these off, and we're going to make the first of our Goki, the Power Load Ogres. Power Load Ogre, for anyone who doesn't know, he's unaffected by all other card effects except himself. He gains 200 attack for each other Link monster on the field times its Link rating. And then you contribute a Goki Link monster, including himself, to target cards on the field equal to its Link rating, the one you attributed, and destroy them. So he's insane. So since we sent our Iron Claw to the grave, we're going to activate its effect. We're going to add from our deck to our hand a copy of Goki Rematch. And then we're going to activate said Goki Rematch. We're going to revive from our graveyard. We're going to go to the Guts since we haven't activated that this turn, and any other Goki, so we can go with our Twist Cobra here. And then we're going to link off these two. We're still not Earth Effect locked just yet, so we're going to link into our Codebreaker Virus Swordsman. We'll chain 1 Virus Swordsman, chain 2 Guts. So Guts will allow us to search. We can get something like a, Rye Scorpio. And then for the Codebreaker Virus Swordsman, we're going to be summoning from the deck a Codebreaker 0 Day. Now we're going to link these two off, and we're going to make our Codebreaker Virus Berserker. Virus Berserker's effect is going to activate. He will summon back both the 0 Day and the Virus Swordsman here. We're going to then proceed to link off the Virus Berserker in the 0 Day here. We're going to make the second of our Goki, the Power Load Ogres. And then finally, we're going to activate Vernusylph of the Misting Seedlings effect in our hand. We're pitching it and Rye Scorpio to the grave. We're going to add a Earth Fairy monster from our deck to our hand. So if this can be anything for the follow-up that you want. Here, maybe a smart thing would be something along the lines of like Vernusylph of the Flowering Fields. And then finally, to resolve the last part of our Misting Seedlings effect, we are able to summon any Earth from our grave, so we can summon our Goki Heal Ogre. And then the last part we do is we use these two to link off into the final Goki, the Power Load Ogre. And that is the board. This is off of 3 cards, one Vernusylph monster, plus 1 Suprex, plus any Goki name that's not Headbat or Suprex. So yeah, we get triple Power Load Ogre, so each of these is boosted by 1600, so they're base 28, so they make them each 4400. Meaning the only real way that they're getting beat over at all, because they're all unaffected, so the only way that they're getting beat at all is something like Access Code Talker, and even then, it can only get rid of 1? Unless, like, they update Jammer it, but who's playing update Jammer these days aside from, like, Salamangreat? So, yeah. You can only get rid of 1, and then on the next turn, you have your draw, and then you have this in your hand, so, like, any monster turns this on, and that's also another reason why we're only running so many of our spell cards. We are only running, like, 5 spells total in this entire deck. So that means the chances of you drawing a monster at all are incredibly high. So the chance of this being live, to where on the next turn, you can just discard it, and the one that you drew, obviously, to add back, like, any Earth monster. We can say, like, we can add back someone like Suprex or something like that, and then summon any Earth from the grave. If one of these goes, then we can summon that back and get a free pop on the field, or we can, summon something like, for this demonstration, we'll summon, like, a Twist Cobra here. And then, like, you can activate Twist Cobra or something like that. You can tribute it, target one of these. Obviously, they won't gain the attack. However, you get the free search off the Twist Cobra, which is the most important part. You can get something like Rematch, or you can get another Goki, and obviously you also could forego this entirely and instead search for your finishing move for your follow-up play into a Goki the Master Ogre OTK. So yeah, that is essentially the main combo of the deck. There are other combos that the deck can do. It's not like it's a one-trick pony or anything like that. But for the most part, this is what you're trying to get. You're trying to get triple Power Load Ogre plus Fallout for the next turn. And remember, since we only had 3 cards in our hand, we still have 2 other mysterious cards in our hand, aside from... Let me get that fairy back in our hand. So this is currently our hand going on to the next turn. We have double mystery cards, and then we have our 1 Vernusylph Fairy. So already, the chance of you having any more follow-up is really high. And so, yeah, that's the main combo of the deck. And again, this is just a pet project of mine that I put together. I thought it was kind of cool, and so I took it to a locals. Ended up doing pretty well with it, actually. I almost won the whole thing if it wasn't for a freaking draw. Time frozen, alright? But yeah, that is that. So, yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Digital Luke, and I will be seeing you all next time, where hopefully I can get some sort of stream together. Bye-bye.